All right. What's up, folks? So, I've been doing a little bit of research, looking into some things, and I'm gonna give you all my take and my formulated opinion that I don't think is an opinion at all. I think it's straight facts. But I think I figured out the whole thing, and it took me about 2 seconds to figure it out. And I'm usually always right. My predictions are always right. They always come true. I'm gonna break down the whole situation for y'all. I am gonna take some videos up here in a second, so you have to bear with me. All right, this is another one of our logos. Okay, like I said, I do want to build possibly a modeling agency, clothing line, and I'm building a film production company already. Okay, so how do I put this? Basically, long story short, I think it's real. I think it definitely happened. They already got videos of them asking Trump how he feels, how he's handling it with what happened with Charlie Kirk. He has no reaction, no remorse, no empathy, no sympathy, which is not even a surprise. It's to be expected. The first time I heard about this situation, I said it was an inside job. I knew right off the bat. I'm never wrong. Now I'm seeing videos of the security team taking possible bribes, taking money from either police or security that were right on the campus. Okay. Um, they're making a bunch of hand signals. I mean, it's an inside job all the way. It's clear as day. And I think some people got paid off as usual. And it just goes to show if this is what's happening at this high of a government level, and you got people like my Aunt Carly Fiorina who are corrupt as it gets and evil and wicked, your government is just evil as hell. Which is why Batman stands up to them for you. You understand? Because you have to. I mean, I'm sitting here, somebody just waved at me. I'm sitting here protecting all of you. Real talk, just like the download says that people are talking about how I'm protecting people from evil. That's exactly what I do. These folks are evil as hell. These folks are they're not playing either. They have no limits. You understand? Give me 1 second and I'm going to break it all down here. So let me get my videos right quick. Hold up. So, yeah, like I said, long story short, I already know what this is all about. It's clear as day and it's common sense. And this is why I keep telling y'all I'm like the real Jason Bourne, right? Actually lived that. I already went through it. I got targeted by the government, dude. You think I don't know a thing or two or how to figure out what operations are going on or how they're working or what they're doing? I'm completely with it, more so than anyone. Okay. This is how I defeated the cartel. This is how I've done all these things I've done. A whole lot. Y'all have no idea. So I'm going to tell you what this is all about. The Epstein case. It all has to do with Jeffrey Epstein. hmm And Charlie Kirk, I saw a video. He laid it out perfectly and said it word for word what the situation is. He spelled it out. And that's where he messed up. Charlie Kirk was opening his mouth too much. Charlie Kirk, I don't know. I think he was a Mason. It looked like he had a Mason ring on. They're trying to create theories about the ring changing fingers and all that. I didn't see that. I think that's just the camera angle. I think that's nothing to worry about. I don't think like it was AI. You know, I think that there should be more videos put out from the actual people who attended to make sure that it matches up, you know, so that we know what we're seeing is real. But I'm not really on that doubting that it's real thing. I think it happened. Um, so here's the deal. Um, you know, and that's the thing. I mean, if you think that they're faking this stuff and they're staging it, then what's the purpose of it? What's the point in that? I mean, what do they do then? They go to a deserted island and just stay on the deserted island, wealthy, I guess, for the rest of the time? That sucks. That's boring. I don't picture people wanting to do that. Like you can't even walk around if you go out in public anywhere, people are going to say, "Hey, it's him. How is this possible?" You know, the public is going to be like, "What the hell?" So I don't think that's the case. I think it's real. I think it all happened just like with Tupac. Um, I don't think this stuff is staged or fake like that. I think it's very real and I think it's happening. And I think it's something that we have to pay attention to as a people and take very seriously. Now, first of all, what happened with Charlie Kirk looked identical to movies that I saw. That's the first thing, which is crazy. Second thing, how do we know that this guy that they're trying to blame even did it? We don't have any real proof of that. You know, they were talking to a different guy. It's all sorts of stuff that happened. And then not only that, but on top of all that, that they can't get any of their facts straight or what's going on ever, there's a bunch of confusion that was deliberately caused, I believe. There's a light, okay, that comes from Charlie Kirk's right hand side, like near it looks like bleachers almost. And there's this light, and the light is timed perfectly with what happened. And this is the same thing that they did with what was his name, like Lee Harvey Oswald, I believe, and with Kennedy. And then they made up this magic you know what theory, which doesn't exist. Again, with Kennedy, it's obvious that there was more than one you know what, right? And that's all it was. There was just more than one because it was all planned. These are all planned. It's the New World Order. This is the Masons. This is the wannabe Illuminati, the fake elites who are not elite. And they continue to do the work of Satan and they have allegiance to Satan. Okay? And they have to make sacrifices to continue to exist and climb up the ladder. Now the truth is going to come out that everything I exposed and talked about with the music industry, the movie industry, all of Hollywood, Cali Muscle sold his soul, all you people sold out to Satan, sold out to the devil. And that's what all of you basically worship openly every day. I believe in God. You understand? So we're not the same, number one. Number two, you have to understand Charlie Kirk, okay? First of all, he mentioned a huge country, right? What country is that? What country? See, on here, you can't even talk, okay? Because I already know how they're looking for an excuse. You know what country I'm talking about, where all that stuff comes from. They're saying, Charlie Kirk was saying that Epstein was not financially literate with it. He wasn't good with finances. What he was a beacon that they were probably dumping money onto because there is this huge, and this is the truth, and what Batman figured out. Like when he says in the new Batman movie, he says, it's the entire system. And Batman's in front of him asking him, what do you mean? It's the entire system. And he's asking him, can you tell, you have to tell, the Riddler is asking him the question. And he says, you need to tell him now. And he doesn't want to tell him. He says, you don't understand. It's the whole system. So the guy is saying it's bigger than me and you. There's he said there's people I love, blah blah blah. You know that I can't talk because I have to protect them. So this is the reality, and the reality is that you have these narcissistic psychopaths who are running this country, and they shouldn't be. They're not running this country. They're in positions of fake power to just have power over other people, which is like demonic as hell. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like I said, we have to figure out how to dismantle this system legally, properly, the right way, peacefully, right? That's the only way. And um, how do you put it? You know, get leaders in power like me who actually are for the people. Okay, so this is the thing. You know, we already went through all the tough stuff getting into this position. Now we're entering the era of actual peace. I also want you to notice that it was all timed perfectly, where the thing that Charlie Clark was speaking about right before it all happened, he said the words what? Just go look and you'll see what words I'm talking about, which traces back to Los Angeles, right? Or right around Hollywood, right? Where they have, you know, all of that going on over there, all these other meccas. I told y'all the government works with these gangs and uses them because your government is evil as hell. Okay, Aleister Crowley was known as the wickedest man who ever walked the planet, and he is hi, government, it's me again. So yeah, like I said, they just did it with my camera. They turned my camera off because I'll repeat it again, and they'll never stop me from talking. Again, the Bush family was birthed by Aleister Crowley, the most wickedest man that they claim ever walked the earth. Like, so he's the father of the entire demonic Bush family that's evil as it gets. They just turned my camera off, y'all. I keep telling y'all the government play on my phone every day, but I'm not supposed to feel upset about that. Remember, I'm not supposed to stand up for myself as I have and say reality and respond to that. Come on, bro. Y'all don't do this to no one else. Yeah. Y'all wanted to dismantle everything I built. You want me in jail and prison, right? With the most serious sentencing you can create, and you're trying to create that behind the scenes and not be held accountable for playing on my phone? Come on, bro. See, you have to be calm. You got to be calm and get smart. You actually took CIA clones, operatives stationed in the desert and stuff to stalk me online, right? And you did everything to try to stop me and get me in trouble and cause some position to take my freedom so that you could silence me. You tried several times to do exactly what you did to Charlie Kirk to me, like when you made your phone calls to Seton Hospital, and you still couldn't get me out of here. I'm still immortal. All you did was make me stronger. That's reality. This is a government operation, y'all. We just uncovered it publicly in front of the whole world. Yeah! What you mean? I can't win anymore. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. All the truth gonna come out what they did to me. Behind closed doors. Bunch of cowards. Facts. They use this platform. They use their shows. They'll mute, delete, everything to try to silence me. These folks do not want the truth out. The truth will always rise. We will never be silenced. You understand? Yeah, the world is going to know the truth about what happened to me. All these situations were because of y'all. These people were acting like this was the movie Phone Booth with Colin Farrell. How is that fair? Like, come on, bro. Y'all use technology every way. Then you tried to turn it around like you did in Green Bay and lie and say, I'm doing what you're doing. How? I stood up for myself. That's it. I was completely in the right. I had every right. I should have. So what do you mean? People have to stand up for themselves. These people are weak, man. They're trying to cheat and use this system against us and lie. Okay? So everything I do, just remember I'm in the right. All of it. You got to stand up for yourself. These people are trying to cheat. Y'all won't even do things fairly. If it was fair, we would have won a long time ago. We winning anyway. So you have to try to keep your cool is what I realize now, because at this point, because we're too far in the game and I already let everybody know what it is. I've already let everyone know. So I ain't got to say no more. People know what it is. These people all know. They're all shook. They're scared of me. They're terrified of the Batman. So like I said, my whole deal is this was about the Epstein case and the Epstein files. Donald Trump went to that island. I can guarantee you there's pictures of him with Epstein all over the place. You can't cover it up. The truth is out. What this is exactly what Charlie Kirk said. This is the biggest blackmailing plot of all time, and it has to do with different countries and the Illuminati Freemasons, and that they've been blackmailing, again, I repeat, they've been blackmailing these public members of Congress. So when Charlie Kirk started saying too much, same thing, I'm way ahead of you. Y'all should not have done this. You messed up. Because people like me know everything about y'all and how you move. Yeah. So what you did is you had to make sure that Charlie Kirk would be quiet because he was talking too much and he exposed your secrets. That's what happened, boy. And you think we ain't paying attention. I pay attention to everything out here, anywhere. Okay? These people got people all over the country. We're not naive and we're not scared. We're not scared of any of you. You understand? Yeah, these folks are trying to cover up their dirty little secrets. Trump went to that island, and Charlie Kirk is quoted saying that Trump went to that island. Yep, Trump went to that island. I know for a fact that he participated. It's common sense. They all do that. All of them got that issue. It's weird, man. Mad weird, bro, because they Satanists. They dress up in animal costumes, bro, and have you know what's. Come on, bro. Y'all ain't fooling nobody, bro. We don't tolerate Satan in this country, in this world. You're going to have to pack your bags and move. It's just that simple. Straight up. You are not going to be leaders of us or anything, nor are you. That's why I don't watch TV. I don't care about a president. He don't run nothing. I'm the president of the streets. This is my country. Straight up. And we winning. So like I said, homeboy, okay? Oh, yeah. And then they used everything that happened with Charlie Kirk. Trump and all of them immediately tried to capitalize on. That's why he said there was a new room being built for the White House. He had no remorse, didn't care. When they asked him, how are you holding up? Didn't care at all. And now they turned around and begged, oh, we need, it was like hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars for security after the Charlie Kirk incident. You can't be serious. They, again, used and implemented what happened with him and him as a way to catapult themselves up not only a fake political ladder when they didn't even need to do this. And not only that, this is how maniacal they are. Not only that, but to gain money. And the country of zombies, these sheep will continue to give them their money. But I have a GoFundMe out right now to stop gang stalking and stand up to these folks. But y'all don't want to contribute to that. Like I said, it's hypocritical. It all comes down to the people, man. You all have the power, the people. The people have the power and they're not using it right. You have these funds, you have the money. So like I said, God has to do it. God is always in control. He's who's in power. Truly, always. You know. But yeah, this is why I wear a bulletproof vest every day or 18 gauge steel armor. Well, I'm way ahead of my time. When folks was acting like, oh, what is he doing? Like when I first started and they were like wondering like, what's up? What's going on? Like, yeah, this is my world. This is my reality. This is my real life. What would you do? These people made phone calls to Seton Hospital. I told you what happened to me. I've talked about it publicly numerous times, even on this channel, and they want to cover it up. I mean, wouldn't you make sure that you protect yourself? I mean, after all that just happened? Like, are you serious? I mean, like I said, I mean, I shouldn't have even made it this far. I shouldn't be here. I'm a walking miracle. So you think I shouldn't take other measures to protect myself, like wearing 18 gauge steel armor and a bulletproof vest every day? Pretty much every day. I don't have to wear it. I just pay attention to my surroundings. You know what I mean? You think I want to have to worry because all this stuff is going on? brother, I'm just living my life, man. Like, that's the thing. These people have some kind of obsession with like trying to silence the truth. Like, y'all got so much to hide. Like, that's crazy, bro. Trump is a complete narcissist, bro. He's a joke, bro. I'm just telling you the truth. Yeah, he went to that island. I guarantee he went to that island. It's common sense. That's a fact. There's pictures of him with Epstein all over the place, bro. How are you going to say you didn't go out there? Come on, that don't even make sense. You understand? If you had any connection to him, pictures, eat dinner, affiliations, then you went there. Okay, you wouldn't have to go there. If you was connected to him at all, then we knew what you were participating in. It's common sense. So what happened again was that they were trying to investigate, I heard, the Epstein matters, and they were very close, and it got turned down by a vote barely, like 51-49 or something. And had that passed, it would have been a whole bunch of probably corroborating, incriminating evidence, right, against Trump and all these folks, proving all the Epstein stuff and what's actually happened in this situation and scenario. So we have huge criminals as our fake leaders in our government, and y'all aren't concerned about this? Y'all want to still go on about your business? You want to still not donate to me and support me when I'm the only one who's making a stand and can actually stand up to these people and defeat them the right way? Come on, bro. That don't make no sense. That's what I'm saying. Like, what is these people's priority? They just letting me sit here. Like I said, my phone plan's about to go out on like the 20th, right? And I'm going to lose touch with y'all. And I want to be able to talk to Christina, and I'm not going to be able to unless I get in Wi-Fi during the day for just a few seconds. Okay? I mean, that sucks. And then when the money comes, it ain't enough. I got to see if I'm even going to be able to pay the plan. And then I'm left with like, what? My check's like $102. My phone bill's like 55. So what's that? Like maybe like, what? Maybe like $45, I think. That's what it sounds like. You know, that ain't nothing, bro. That's nothing to get through all this time. And then I may not even get another check this next month. See my point? And like, I want to have my phone on, bro. I deserve that. I've been doing this for a long time. So it's like, I don't know. Y'all just keep putting me in the same situation where it's going to be impossible to literally get by or do anything. This is how y'all do things. This is supposed to be America, but I was born here. It wasn't my fault or my choice. And I was raised here. And this is how we getting done. Can you imagine? I got everyone against me. Not one person is helping me or really supporting me. No one. These folks didn't help me. They act like they doing a favor, bro. Y'all could just give me my startup money. Like I said, give me my thousands of dollars. It ain't nothing. There's plenty of money in this country, bro. And y'all owe me millions. I have a whole inheritance I never got because of Carly Fiorina. What are y'all trying? What kind of stunt are y'all trying to pull? How do you talk about law? If the law existed, wouldn't she have to give me my inheritance? What do you mean? Sitting there lying, got clerks lying in corrupt offices talking about that's your last disbursement. Hold up. Yeah, that's what they was talking about because these narcissists like her go around and they just start saying things that aren't there and don't exist and aren't positive. And then these suckers will sit there and just go along with it. Like anybody who does that, they were already against you to begin with. That's why the dude said, "Oh, it's your last disbursement. That's all that's in there." How would you know? All you did was cut the check. You don't know anything regarding my trust. It ain't none of your business, too. I could literally take you to court over that. I'm taking everybody to court. If you say anything wrong, I'm taking it to court. You understand? Whenever we get to that point and have the funds to do so. You know, this is a federal lawsuit, dude. This is a big deal. People understand I'm a public figure. I'm kind of a big deal, bro. You know, I'll end up being the biggest deal in this country and quickly, especially as soon as people realize he's the real Batman and he's really doing this. Like, yeah, that's going to catch some attention. Believe me, that's going to catch some attention. Feel me? So, I don't know, man. It's crazy, bro. Like I said, it's not my plan. It's God's plan. You know what I mean? I'm still trying to figure out, like, if this is good enough for the soup for now. You know, I mean, it's something. It ain't what I need, but it's something. You know, and I just don't like the other feeling wearing the other stuff. I don't. But yeah, I'm telling you what it is. Charlie Kirk called it out word for word. It is what it is. They do it every time they try to silence folks. They've silenced a whole bunch of people. So when are y'all going to start opening your mouths and backing us up, people like me, and speaking? See, they can't do it to me because I'm not a Mason. I'm not in their system. I'm protected by God, and I'm just smart as hell and too strong. They really can't do it to me. They've tried. Trust me. They've tried a million times. I'm immortal. So they can't do that with me. That's not even an option anymore, no matter what they do, right? Everything they try, is going to backfire, and God's just going to give them karma on a silver platter right back in tenfold. Understand that. So, they're all going through karma as it is. And you just have to understand these people are soulless. They're evil. This government is evil. All these people are evil. My Aunt Carly Fiorina is the most evil woman I've ever seen, pretty much. And I think she's who put these people up to this on here. 100%. And they mentioned California or Oregon or Berkeley, California. One of them lives there or something. Yeah, that's exactly where she was at, in that area. So, like I said, nobody's fooling me. Nobody. I see what it is. And I think it's that she's part of the coven, probably. She was probably always part of the coven. They're probably witches, her and Clara. That's what I think it is. My dad's sisters. That's what I think this is. See, I'm going to figure this out. This is like a movie, but it's my actual life, and I'm going to figure this out to a T. I think I already have, So you got to understand, y'all owe me cribs out in Cali, tons of money. Where's all that money at, bro? Come on, man. I mean, nah, bro. My grandfather, he had that whole retirement home paid for, everything. Like, there's plenty of money, bro. My grandfather wanted to leave me money. I think this one, Carly Fiorina, I think she took the money and buried it. That's not the last disbursement. There's millions of dollars in that trust. My dad told me there's a lot of money in there. Okay, then it's impossible that it's all gone. It's impossible, bro, because what you're saying is that there was only like maybe $100,000, and there ain't no way. There's got to be millions there. My grandfather was a Supreme Court judge. Okay, and quit acting like y'all have taken the money and you're using it. You're all poor. Okay, you didn't take anything because you can't. It doesn't work that way. But you might have like tried to hide it or buried the money or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? To keep it from me. So what does that make me? Extremely blessed. They're gonna have to give me my money regardless, bro. You understand? I guarantee you, if y'all investigate and look into my actual trust, I don't know. I've never been shown it. I can pretty much guarantee you though that there was millions of dollars in there. So where did all the money go? This is a real thing happening in Carly Fiorina. This is all Carly Fiorina. You could say allegedly, but it's not. It's right in front of all of us. She's who tampered with my trust. She who wouldn't resign as trustee. I asked her to resign at some point, right? Like, come on, bro. Y'all better wake up, man. And this is what it is. It's just a bunch of corruption and evil, folks. This is why I know God is in control. You know what I mean? You got to trust in God and believe in God, man. We're coming up against the principalities, the wicked, and we're winning. And we've been winning, and we're going to keep winning. Feel me? Like I said, Trump went to that island. It's obvious. Trump was connected to the entire Epstein thing. And like I said, I think that's exactly what Epstein was being used for. Yes, he was a tool, right, to be able to blackmail all these politicians and members of Congress. That's exactly what he was being used for. So they would say, send him out to the island so we can get photos of them doing what they're doing, right? Which, I mean, nobody asked the question, I mean, why is that a normal thing? I mean, it's sick, period, right? And like, I don't get it, especially if you have money. Like, why wouldn't you just go get a normal girlfriend, or boyfriend? It's just odd, it's disgusting. But that's what these Satanists practice. All these people sitting on YouTube all day making Cyrax content, they're the same thing. This trickles down into society, man. All these people are connected. That's what I'm trying to tell you. These are covens that work underground. You understand? They all have secret conspiracies and connections to each other. So I'm telling you the truth. Charlie Kirk said it word for word. What Epstein was, what he was an agent of, and what country he worked for, right? Which wasn't this one, right? And that country is where all the stuff happens, and it's where all the government connection is. It's the same thing when I say I believe that Obama, right, was who was a CIA operative. It's the same guy. This is a mass deception. That's what this is. But I think the Charlie Kirk thing really happened. I don't think that was part of a deception. I think there was a distraction meant with it, but I think it was real because I think Trump wanted to make sure that he silenced Charlie Kirk because he was speaking the truth. You understand? So it is what it is. I think Charlie Kirk was pretty good at what he does now after watching and looking at some videos. I think he was a great speaker, you know. I don't know. So I give him that, you know. I think he was cool. You know what I mean? So it ain't got nothing to do with me. I mean, he had his own thing. You know, when they're saying legacy and all that, I didn't even know who he was. I didn't know he had any legacy. I didn't really see much of a legacy. I just saw a guy with a mic. That's all I saw. I mean, that's the thing. That's the actual reality. A guy with a mic, you know, that sadly got played by Trump and all of the presidential, you know, people. He got played, taken advantage of, and now he's been moved as a chess pawn and a chess piece. Right? That's the truth. Mhm. They used him and utilized him, and now they're going to get a ton of free money off of their evil and what they did to him. That's crazy, right? What kind of country are we in, man? Like I said, we have no choice but to stand up, man. So, like I said, let these people continue to do what they do. They're going to keep on doing the evil, and Americans just got to get ready and prepared and stand up. You got to stand up for yourself, man. This system is ridiculously out of control. And all y'all working these jobs in between and working for these departments and agencies, please start standing up for what's right. Please. Like, that's all I can ask. Just please start standing up for what's right, man, because you know, we cannot do this alone. We're all still civilians. You know, we need people to start speaking up for what's right in every job. You know, that's the only way we're going to win and stand up to these folks. There has to be good people in some of these positions. So that's all I'm going to say. But yeah, Trump went to that island. Trump and Epstein had a connection, and they don't want all the truth coming out of all the incriminating evidence and the truth that this is what they've been doing to get something on these Congress members and these different leaders. And did they really get anything, or did these people just do crimes and walk into it themselves? I mean, you're trying to still make it sound like something it's not. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're sick. They're evil people. So it is what it is. They all need to be arrested and they need to be doing life in prison. That's the truth. All of them. All of them. This entire government is traitors, bro. This is what people don't get. They're supposed to be tried in a court of law, and they're all guilty of being a traitor, of treason. So I mean, what do you mean? Like, common sense. So I mean, no, the system needs to stop being corrupt and apply the law for treason. What do you mean? I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. So what Trump just did, if he is involved, now he's being investigated by the FBI, they claim. But the FBI is who we believe does all this. The feds. They're who facilitate these environments. They corrupt as hell. So if they pass this investigation too, like everything else with him, that they make an excuse for every crime he commits, then I mean, yeah, you're just having, I mean, that's not a president. That's something else. That's just a guy you keep giving a pass and enabling his criminal behavior. And that's exactly what they've done. So, I mean, if you actually investigated and were truthful, the man would be going to prison forever. He would never get out. I mean, he's committed treason. He's committed tons of other crimes. Every president has, pretty much. You know what I mean? I think Kennedy was the only good one, and Kennedy's goal, they said, was to disband the CIA, which to me means the FBI and the feds. See my point? So what's the point of saying on TV they're going to be investigated by the FBI? Yeah, the FBI is corrupt, and they're who did this. That's what I believe. Sorry. That's 100% what I believe. I think that this is the problem, is that all these folks hide behind the system, and they keep painting it like wrestling. Trump don't look worried. They're not worried because they know that they're in control of the situation until you dismantle the system correctly. This is why they want to turn off the camera. See what I'm saying? No, we need to just straight up get other new leaders. They need to resign from their position. They need to be tried in a court of law and held accountable. Till that happens, this isn't a democracy, it's a joke. And it's just a free for all with all these maniacal ones. I'm telling you the truth. Charlie Kirk exposed that fact. That's why they did this to him. He had to be silenced because they didn't want him saying the truth and exposing the truth. It's the same thing they did with Zach TV with the Kaneka Jenkins case. That was a government connection because the Rosemont or Fremont Hotel in Chicago, whatever, was doing you know what trafficking. And that's like one of the highest forms of trafficking. That's $1 billion industry. And they were using street gangs. They used street gangs to do what they did to Zach TV. So don't tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about when we all know I'm spot on. Okay. So, I mean, it is what it is. You understand? It's all corrupt. The government is a joke, as I said. And we all have one common enemy. It's that simple. Just like the one guy said, you and I are not each other's enemy. We should have common ground, right, about these amendments and our freedom, right, to stand up. Charlie Kirk supposedly stood for what I'm doing, what Batman is doing, which is basically the church or men of God standing up against the establishment and literally overthrowing them. That's exactly what I'm doing. I mean, you could say it any other way. That's exactly what I'm doing. And I'm doing it the right way. I'm doing it all legally. I mean, in the street, like I said, we get busy. So it's every aspect, but we do things the right way. Batman is who's overthrown the system. One man is bigger than the system. It's the truth. And now all I need is the funding. So I'm going to ask this country again, can you please fund me and my efforts against gang stalking, because that will fund me to do everything I need to do as Batman, everything I need to do to help folks. I'm sitting here having to literally save the world. See how I told you the prophecy? Yeah, I'm the guy who has to save the world. It's what God already told me. So I need your help to do that. I need the funding. That's all I need is the money. You can get me on motorcycles. You can get me, I'll create my own bat pods. I can get all this stuff going. I can start, flying around towns and cities and being all over in America. And we can start saving people even more, saving lives like we already do on a major scale. All right. So, like I said, last thing I'm going to say, it all comes down to Trump and Epstein. Trump is trying to cover his own, you know what, because he was directly connected to Jeffrey Epstein and everything that happened. And that's all this is about. Somebody's selfish interest and the fact that they're 100% agent of Satan. That's what Donald Trump is. And I'm completely convinced. I don't want to hear anything else about it. Don't even speak his name in front of me. He's a joke. And it's just that simple. And he has no power in my country. This is our country, and Americans need to stand up the right way. And that's it. Everything can be done peacefully. It's by exposing the truth. Expose the truth and make sure we hold these systems accountable to hold these criminal leaders who are doing criminal actions accountable. That's all that needs to happen. We need to stop just sitting here while they don't do anything. Like, you got to kind of press the issue at some point and make sure that they do their job, which is what I've had to do with everybody, if you notice. So if they do their job and hold Trump accountable, right, then it is what it is. But they're going to try to cover it up again, I bet you. Every prediction I make is right. They're going to try to cover it up and say, oh, he had nothing to do with it, when it's obvious. The man has no remorse, doesn't care. You said he was your friend. Come on, bro. It's obvious. It's just like with Snoop Dogg and Tupac. People keep saying, oh, Suge. Suge was in the car. People keep saying, oh, Diddy. Yeah, Diddy might have had something to do with it. Did they ever convict him for it? No. And then you've got, what's his name? Like I'm saying, everybody has it backwards. Like Snoop is the one who had everything to do with what happened to Tupac. It's common sense. You could see him on the camera. He knew what was about to happen. He felt guilty too, just like this whole town feels shame and guilt because of what they did to me. It's in the download in the Joker video right now. Everything is crystal clear. There's no confusion here, man. People just got to get with the times and get with it and listen to media sources like mine. I'm my own media source. I am the media. You listen to my media source, you'll get the actual truth. Not theories, not cover up stuff, not fake stuff, not, hunches. You're going to get the actual facts of what's going on. Because trust me, I know. Other people don't. I could figure it out in 2 seconds. Yeah, it's all about trying to cover up Trump's actions and all these other members of Congress and the cabinet and the different government agencies who went to Epstein Island and participated in everything that he did. And there's a bunch of incriminating evidence, I believe, and they're trying to get rid of it. They're going to try to cover it up. They're going to try to actually get rid of the evidence. Watch, because like I said, they had this vote in a cabinet or something. I think it was 51-49. Had that passed, it would have, all the evidence would have come out. How are they allowed to vote on whether they get convicted or not? That's crazy. You've given these people too much power. You designed this on purpose so that they could do what they want. And we have to stop this. It's that simple. This has to be stopped. It's that simple. These people are evil, and it is what it is. You can say what you want, but evil folks have to be stopped. Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, we have no choice but to stand up because it's called defending yourself. That's what America all about. That's why I told you the system won't even let you defend yourself. Self-defense doesn't exist. We're going to defend ourselves, but we're going to do it all the right way. And we're going to man up and do it as a man, something that Donald Trump and these folks will never be. They're already ashamed. Let them do what they do and they shame. The man doesn't own anything. He's totally poor. He ran his family inheritance and business into the ground and lost the helicopter or whatever, right? What do you mean? He inherited everything. I told you these people were sent by the government. They wanted to slander me because I'm a real person. The Sneed family is the real legend and the real legacy and the real crest, and we run this country and the world. And these people that are in politics are nobody. The Sneed family and my children that I have in the future with Christina and my descendants should be who are in the presidential candidates and the elections. Seriously, my family should be the leaders of this country. You can hear it in my voice and everything I'm about and what I represent. If you had me as your president, I would be able to change things in this country completely. See, you all don't get it. I'm not doing thinking small. I want to run for president, and that's not a big deal for me. That's second nature. I was made to do this. So, like I said, if Carly Fiorina was able to run for president of the United States, which she was, and she's a failure and nobody, and ran Hewlett Packard into the ground and failed epically in front of the whole world, and she's literally been exposed for being a liar with that scam that she got caught in, and lost the election and wanted to blame it on that, but she was going to lose regardless because she doesn't know how to win. She's not relatable. She has no life experience. She's never been through anything. She's evil and corrupt. So what do you mean? Look, like I said, she took advantage of everything. It's all out public on this channel. So if she can run for office, why would you not let her nephew do the same? That's how you can tell that she's not on my side, right? Because if it's in my family, all right, and I don't know if they're Masons or what, I'm sure they are in my family. I was never introduced to that, and I'm glad. I don't want to be a Mason, but I should have a right to not be a Mason and to be able to run for president. I'm not scared of y'all. I know I'd watch myself like always. I would know that y'all trying to set me up, and I would stay out the way and get smart. You understand? And this would be a president that would wear a bulletproof vest and 18-gauge steel armor and a whole bat suit everywhere he go. Your president should be Batman. Straight up. That's the truth. That's the future we're looking at. Actual vigilante justice and a Batman president. That's where this country is leaning and where we need to go. Straight up. That's exactly the direct. Anything else is going to be horrible for everyone. You keep letting these people do what they're doing. I mean, come on, bro. It's just horrible what they're doing. Look what they just did to Charlie Kirk, bro. Come on, man. You can't be serious, bro. It's unbelievable, man. So I'll talk to you in a minute, man. Get real.